How Native American treaty negotiations shaped history and culture. Explore the rich negotiation processes behind Native American treaties, revealing the depth of Native culture and history in every agreement. Understanding Native American treaty negotiation processes. You know, when most people think about treaties, they often picture formal documents signed between countries or governments, sometimes distant and somewhat boring. But the treaty negotiation processes involving Native American tribes are a whole different story, rich in history, culture, and nuance. And honestly, understanding how these treaties came to be offers a window into the complex relationship between Native American peoples and the U.S. government. So, pull up a chair, because I want to share some fascinating insights about this. First off, it's important to recognize that many Native American tribes had their own systems of diplomacy and negotiation long before settlers arrived. Native American culture values community, consensus, and respect, and those elements heavily influenced how they approached treaty discussions. Negotiations were rarely about dominance in the way European powers might have viewed them. Instead, they often focused on maintaining peace, securing resources, and protecting their heritage and lands. When European settlers began expanding, treaties became one of the primary legal tools to manage relations between colonial governments, later the U.S. federal government, and native tribes. However, the treaty process was complicated, often marked by miscommunications, differing cultural expectations, and sometimes outright deception. The setting and ceremony. Native American treaty negotiations were more than just contractual moments. They were significant cultural events. Delegations from tribes and government representatives would meet, sometimes after days or weeks of preparation and travel. The negotiation sites themselves could carry spiritual significance or be neutral, agreed-upon grounds to facilitate respectful dialogue. Within the tribal context, these meetings typically involved several key figures: the tribal leaders, elders, and sometimes spiritual guides who provided counsel and interpretation. Stories and ceremonies often accompanied discussions to emphasize the weight of the agreements being considered. Treaties were about more than just written words. They were about relationships and trust, a process of communication and understanding. Language barriers posed significant challenges. While interpreters were sometimes used, the subtleties of Native American languages and cultural concepts were difficult to translate accurately into European legal language. This meant that what either side believed to be agreed upon could differ dramatically. For example, some Native American tribes viewed treaties as ongoing relationships, requiring future consultations, not as one-time final agreements. Negotiation strategies also varied by tribe, depending on their specific goals and circumstances. Some tribes entered negotiations hoping to preserve their lands and autonomy, aiming to coexist peacefully. Others were trying to secure guarantees for their survival after facing aggressive expansion and violence. These dynamics heavily shaped the terms of the treaties and the resulting impacts on Native American history, the impact and legacy. Many of these treaties involved land cessions, hunting and fishing rights, and promises of annuities or other resources. Unfortunately, quite a few treaties were broken or ignored by the U.S. government, leading to a long legacy of distrust and struggle for many Native American tribes. This history is crucial to understanding contemporary issues involving tribal sovereignty and Native American rights today. Learning about these negotiations also offers insight into the resilience of Native communities, their spirit to maintain heritage and culture despite centuries of hardship. It reminds us that Native American history and culture are living things, deeply influential and ongoing. A resource worth exploring. If you want to explore this topic more deeply, especially through a narrative that ties these historical processes to contemporary Native American voices and experiences, I highly recommend the book For Such a Time as This. It's a meaningful read that brings together elements of history, culture, and personal stories that highlight why understanding these treaties is essential for everyone. Get your copy today and enrich your knowledge of Native American heritage and history. So yeah, Treaty negotiations weren't just documents signed on paper. They were complex human moments where culture, survival, and diplomacy mingled. Next time you come across a Native American treaty, hopefully, you'll see it not merely as legalese, but as part of a bigger story involving Native resilience and identity.